Welcome back to another devlog on my voxel terraforming game. I apologize for the late upload. As I mentioned last video, school just started up and I haven't had as much time to work on it. This last month, I focused on making some visual improvements to the game, including an atmosphere, new biomes, and some foliage. Hopefully you like them. The first thing that our little planet needed was an atmosphere. It was looking a little barren and definitely couldn't support any life. In the real world, atmospheres get their color by scattering any light that passes through. The quick explanation is that as photons pass through the atmosphere, they hit and bounce off of the molecules and particulates in the air. The amount of scattered light that eventually reaches our eyes determines the brightness of the atmosphere. The method used to simulate this in code is the same that I used to draw the voxels: ray casting. The basic idea is that I cast rays into the atmosphere and use their length and height above the planet's surface to estimate how much light scatters toward them. I don't actually simulate the scattering, as casting that many rays would be far too expensive. If you want more information about this method, check out this video by Sebastian Legge. It's how I learned most of this stuff. Next, I added color to our atmosphere. This is accomplished pretty easily. All I needed to do was make certain color channels brighter than others based on how much scattering takes place, since some wavelengths of light scatter more easily than others. Eventually, we're going to want to have multiple biomes on this planet, so next I added support for terrain painting. Nothing special going on here, I basically just changed some flags of the voxels within a sphere wherever I click. Now, we can have an admittedly underwhelming desert biome. One visual element I had been wanting to add for a while was grass. I could just make the grass out of voxels, but then I wouldn't be able to animate it without updating the whole map, which would be far too slow. So I decided instead to rasterize it. To keep with the style of the game, I settled on making the grass blades out of little cubes. So the first step was getting a bunch of these cubes to render efficiently on the screen. I could just naively loop over all of the cubes and draw each one individually, but this would be extremely inefficient as each draw call has a good bit of overhead attached to it. Instead, I used a technique known as instance rendering, where I only make one draw call that draws multiple instances of my cube. Then, in the shader, I just have to use a buffer for my uniform variables and access them with the instance ID variable. Here's all of that working: 3 cubes rendered with just one draw call. The next step was to figure out where to actually place the grass blades. I do this in a pretty simple way. I loop over every voxel, check if it is visible by checking each of its faces, and add a grass blade there if so, with some randomness to keep from adding too many. Now comes the fun part, turning these red cubes into bendy grass blades purely through shaders. that about sums up the changes made this month. Next month, I'll hopefully start building out more features of the game. I just wanted it to look a little nicer first for the sake of the videos. Thanks for watching.